Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Entertainment Earth exclusive Blacklight Batman and Robin Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze. I ordered this from Entertainment Earth. It arrived today, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, this is a gold label figure. A gold label is simply retailer exclusive. Whether it Target or Walmart, this is an Entertainment Earth exclusive. DC, Batman and Robin movie logo, Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin, Blacklight edition. McFarlane Toys, limited to 6,550 pieces. Here's the front of the box. On the side, Mr. Freeze, Batman Robin, Blacklight. The other side's pretty blank. The back, big picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. At the bottom, there's the barcode, if it helps. This is one of McFarlane's deluxe figures. Remove the outer sleeve and expose the figure and his accessories. So with no further ado, let's open them up. And of course, I did get two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He has a Blacklight stand, his freeze gun, and then his collector's card and display stand for the card. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Blacklight edition. The original figure was a Build-A-Figure in the Batman and Robin wave, and the likeness was spot on. This one has more of a blue tint to it, which I believe is sort of accurate to parts of the film. It does look pretty cool, so let's take a closer look. Like I said, the likeness is on point. I mean, look at that. That looks just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They did a great job on this figure. Sometimes McFarlane has really good face sculpts, sometimes not so much. You can see his helmet there. It almost has like transparent parts on the top and the sides. Looks pretty cool. That likeness is just magnificent. As we go further down, these shoulder pads are rubber, kind of move out of the way. I kind of feel like these parts almost should light up, and guess what? They probably will. It looks like single jointed elbow. They think single jointed knee. Big giant feet. Gonna make it really easy to stand this guy up. Detailing is nice. I've seen some guys repaint the original one in sort of metallic silver, and it looks fantastic. The original one looked great, but had a pretty crappy paint job. And this one has sort of plastic, toyetic sort of look to it. But the purple, blue, different shades of blue, it's very appropriate for Mr. Freeze and sort of cold and ice theme going on. This guy visually looks really nice. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which looks great. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze Blacklight edition. On the back, we have a certificate of authenticity. This is number 1,161 out of 6,559. If anyone else out there got this figure, let me know what number you got. And then we have a little display stand here. You can put your collector card inside. And if you want to display next to your figure, you can do so. Now for his freeze ray. Of course, you can't have Mr. Freeze without a freeze ray or freeze gun. It has a little bit of sort of blue tint to it, just like the rest of the figure. Ice is coming out. That's in a semi-transparent plastic. Has a place to hold the trigger here and support it with the other hand. It's a pretty good looking sculpt. Paint job. It's one solid color and probably could add a little bit of variety to it if you repainted it. Here's the original freeze gun at the top, and then the Blacklight version at the bottom. Here's Mr. Freeze holding that freeze gun. He can hold it with either one hand or with two. Now for his Blacklight stand. This thing comes in 7 different pieces. When put together, it's going to look like this. We have a display stand here, and then 2 little posts with the Blacklight. You can turn them on and off. You can also rotate them or hinge to go up and down. Now my experience with these McFarlane Blacklight stands are, they look kind of cool. Looks like maybe something that would be in the background of a studio with lights, camera between. But they're pretty weak. They don't really show off the figure's blacklight skills very nicely. I have a blacklight flashlight that works much better. So let's take a look. So let's check out his action feature. Here's Mr. Freeze standing on the blacklight stand with the lights off. Then, with the blacklight lights on him in a fully lit room. And here in a semi-lit room. And then here in a completely dark room. Like I said, I think McFarlane's blacklight stand is on the weak side of things. So I have this blacklight flashlight bought on Amazon a long time ago. It's less than $20. It's very strong. So here's Mr. Freeze without the blacklight effect in a fully lit room. Turn the blacklight flashlight on. Shine at Mr. Freeze. When it's strictly on him a little bit too much, but kind of shine it sort of near him, and you can see him sort of lit up. And here, in a semi-lit room. And here's Mr. Freeze under black light in a completely dark room. I'd say this flashlight is way better than McFarlane blacklight stand, and I'm not even shining it directly onto him, just sort of near him. I love how the blacklight accents the different armor pieces on him. Looks really cool. And his gun also works under the effect of blacklight. Now to check out the differences and similarities between this blacklight Mr. Freeze and the original Build-A-Figure version. And it is 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation, just a different paint job. So let's take a closer look. Starting with the faces here, they both look excellent like Mr. Freeze. This seems almost like a Kenner variant, and I love it. They both look like they came from the film. The armor is a little bit bland on the original. I've seen people repaint it. It looks fantastic with sort of shiny silver. And this guy also looks really cool. I love the blue, sort of purple color scheme. It just is so appropriate for cold, cold, icy Mr. Freeze. Mostly purple where the armor is silver. The blue highlights are both there, but a little bit different. Lighter blue here. He's got a transparent helmet. His is not transparent, and it's almost like it's transparent in the other pieces versus his. Like I said, they both look really cool. The sculpt is excellent, but both of them have sort of a toyish looking paint job, if you know what I mean. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.6 inches tall, which can translate to just over 19 centimeters, and for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, you're going to rotate side to side. He can look up, not very much, down a little bit more. Can tilt his head a little bit from side to side. His shoulder pads are sort of rubbery, they move out of the way and don't interfere with the articulation. So his shoulders, they go out about 90 degrees. You can make them go completely up. Shoulder pad looks a little bit off, but it's nice to be able to have full range of motion. Just push it back down if you don't like it. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion and cover up the gap. No bicep cut. He's got a single jointed elbow. Goes in a little bit less than 90 degrees with rotation to offset the lack of bicep cut. His wrist, it can rotate, and it's hinged as well. Ball joint the torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one the waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, very good range of motion. You get a little bit more out of the waist than the torso on this guy. Legs, complete as splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation, pretty much non-existent. Legs go forward, pretty good amount. Back not at all. Single jointed knee, goes back a tad less than 90 degrees. Also has rotation. And then his ankle, forward and back. Tilt, rock, no rotation, but you do get that in the leg. And toe articulation. Here's a look at Mr. Freeze, mourning over his wife Nora in his icy lair. Batman interrupts him, confronting Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is not having it, pulls out his freeze gun and freezes Batman. And here's that same shot in black light. Now let's check them out. Next to some of their action figures, starting off with some of their Mr. Freeze figures. Here's the blacklight Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze, next to the original Build-A-Figure version. And here he is, next to McFarlane's comic Mr. Freeze, which they've made 4 different variations. Then, with the Page Puncher fighting the frozen Mr. Freeze, they made 2 versions of him. Here are all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Mr. Freeze figures. We have 3 base figures, totaling 8 variations. And let's not forget, McFarlane also made Mr. Freeze from Batman the Animated Series and the 1966 Batman Classic TV show. Here he is, next to a Diamond Select Toys TV show Gotham Mr. Freeze. And here, with all my DC Direct Mr. Freeze figures. Then, with the Mezco Mr. Freeze. Now, with my Mattel Mr. Freeze figures. Next, with a Cosmic Legion Shadow Circle figure. I use this in my Mr. Freeze collection for what I'd say is pretty obvious reasons. Here are all the Mr. Freeze figures that I have in my collection. I believe I have all of them in the 6 and 7 inch scale, except for Mattel San Diego Comic Con exclusive version. Here's this Mr. Freeze, next to several different Kenner Frostbite figures. Frostbite was a Mr. Freeze henchman from the Batman and Robin movie. I would love it if McFarlane would give us a Frostbite figure, but I sure don't expect it. Here's Mr. Freeze, next to McFarlane's Captain Cold figures. another ice-themed villain. And then here are all of my different Captain Cold figures. A lot of the time I use them for henchmen for Mr. Freeze. Then, next to Mattel's Icicle. I'm still waiting for some company to give us a Killer Frost figure. Now let's check him out, next to some other Batman and Robin movie figures. Here he is, next to the original Build-A-Figure wave. Robin, Batman, Poison Ivy, and Batgirl. Collective build on Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze. They also made George Clooney in the Batman Ultimate Movie 6-pack. This one had a cloth cape. And then recently, the Frostbite version of the George Clooney Batman, which is a perfect pair with this blacklight Mr. Freeze. Here's the entire Batman and Robin movie collection. McFarlane just killed it with these guys. Each character is really, really well done. Looks really good. Now, the only character that we don't have is Bane. I really hope McFarlane finds a way to release a Batman and Robin Bane before the year ends. And they could still make more vehicles, in particular Robin's Redbird cycle, but there's a couple other vehicles at the end of the film. And then their final battle suits, George Clooney in sort of his sonar anti-ice suit, and then Robin in the same suit, just silver instead of red there. There also is Batgirl with a sort of Batman girl helmet, sort of cowl. And really there's other looks from Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy. They could make so much more stuff from this film, but I hope at least they give us a Bane. Here's a look at a ton of different Arnold Schwarzenegger action figures that I have. He's very toyetic. Now let's check him out with some of their Blacklight figures. I believe these are all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Blacklight figures. Infinite Frontier, Joker, and Scarecrow. Batman and Robin, Mr. Freeze, Batman of Zernar, and the first appearance, Mr. Freeze, as Mr. Zero. They also made a Blacklight Joker in McFarlane's Batman Classic TV series line, and a Blacklight Clown in their Spawn line. I got a couple of these to use as Joker thugs or henchmen, giving me this entire collection of Blacklight figures. Here he is with all of McFarlane's Frostbite figures. These work great for people being frozen by Mr. Freeze, or possibly even Mr. Freeze trophies in his base. McFarlane's Frozen Sub-Zero figure also works pretty good for this purpose, and even though they're pretty small, these Star Wars Black Holocam figures. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Justice League, the 6th Dimension Batman in his armored suit mega figure, and the Batman 1,000,000 figure. Here's Mr. Freeze, next to some recent Batman comic figures. We have the Justice Lord Batman, a Cowardly Lot Batman, and the orange and purple versions of the Rainbow Batman. And here he is, next to the Dark Knight Trilogy, Christian Bale Batman, and Batpod 2-pack. Then, with the Gold Label exclusive Hourman and Connor Hawk Green Arrow. And now, next to the DC Direct Page Puncher, Red Platinum Kingdom Come Starman. Here's Mr. Freeze, next to the Walmart and McFarlane exclusive Joker Eyes Death Metal Batman and Patina Dark Knights of Steel Batman. And here he is, next to the Titano vs. Flash 2-pack. Then, with the Flesher Superman, Titan's Tempest, Walter West Dark Flash, and Shadow Pact Nightmaster. And now, with the most recent Batman movie wave, both versions of the Batman Begins Batman, Batman Begins Scarecrow, and Michael Keaton Batman. And finally, next to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker and Franklin Murray 2-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jakks Pacific Wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Mr. Freeze, next to a bottle of Ice Mountain water. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a pretty cool Mr. Freeze figure. I really like the lavender and sort of purple and light blue look to him. I actually think he looks better than the regular release. When I picture Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze in the film, this is more or less what I think of. Now, the paint job could be a little more, I don't know how to say it, serious or realistic looking. I could see people repainting this and making it look really, really cool, just like the original. But as it is, I think it's a slight improvement. The paint job is nice, the colors are visually very sort of pleasing, but it could have a sort of metallic, shiny paint job, and people can do some really cool stuff with this figure. But as it is, the face sculpt is on point, excellent. I'd say 10 out of 10 for the Arnold face sculpt. The articulation is pretty good, a little bit bulky, but he's in this big bulky armored suit. He doesn't need to be super articulated like Spider-Man. His accessory, the freeze ray is good, the black light is a little bit disappointing. If I were to rate this guy, solid 8 out of 10, teeter on 8.5, but I'm going to land at an 8. It's a very nice McFarlane figure, a very nice Arnold Schwarzenegger figure, and a very nice Mr. Freeze figure. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.